the draw is done, and we've got some very, very exciting fixtures in what is ultimately not too bad an overall package. Now, you're gonna have to forgive me because I'm recording this in the back of a car as I'm making my way to the station. I had to rush out of AFTV where I did my live reaction to the draw there. But the standout fixtures are Bayern Munich at home, Inter Milan away again, and Atletico Madrid at home. In there is Club Brugge away. We've got a trip to Athletic, a repeat of the Emirates Cup. This time it's away though. Galatasaray, no, sorry, not Galatasaray, Olympiacos. So some generally good fixtures there. I'll put in a pinned comment all of them in a row because I appreciate that I'm trying to get through all 8 in my mind at once. But what I will say is that, look, Bayern Munich at home, we like that after what happened a couple of years ago, after what they've always done to us. So at some point we've got to get some revenge in this competition. No, like surely. The Inter Milan trip is a shame because, well, again, we want some revenge in terms of going to the San Siro and winning. But like, you know, we just had them. We just had them there after so long. I think it was 2003 the last time we played them. I'd love to have had them at the Emirates. I think that would have been fun. But it's a trip back to Milan, a repeat of last year's game that Arsenal lost. I believe it was the only game Arsenal lost outside of the PSG games, which was obviously part of the knockouts. We had a very good record in the Champions League last year and generally competed on all fronts. I think we played that game quite well. Now we're going to go to them again to see if we've really improved. How are we at breaking down that low block? And this is a different Inter Milan. They don't have, oh, I forgot his name, the manager who's now managing Saudi. This is why you shouldn't record in the back of a car when you're rushing places. What's his name? Very good manager. Inzaghi. Oh, I knew it was there. Right, they have Inzaghi anymore. So it's a different Inter Milan. Let's see if Arsenal have improved. Let's see what Inter Milan look like. But again, the standout fixtures are Bayern Munich at home and Atletico Madrid at home. This is Diego Simeone coming back to the Emirates. Last time he was there was, I believe, 2018 when they drew 1-1 at the Emirates and they beat us 1-0 in Madrid at the Wanda Metropolitano in a result that essentially won them the Europa League because they got to the final and won that, and it really felt like the winner of those two teams was going to go and win that competition overall. And we played well against a 10-man Atletico Madrid side, but it wasn't enough. Well, certainly played well at the Emirates, but maybe not enough to win it. Anyway, so we're going to have that game again, which will be fun. So yeah, some really, really interesting fixtures there. Some really interesting games. I would think that if Arsenal don't get top 8, it's pretty disappointing, because I think we've got a run of games that feels more favourable than some of other rivals. I think Liverpool and Man City, I think it was Liverpool in particular, I might be wrong, they did have quite a fixture list. I thought, ooh, not too many in there I really like, or would really like if I were a Liverpool fan. Man City I can't quite remember, but I think like Liverpool are hosting Real Madrid. Man City have got to go back to the Bernabeu. So yeah, some interesting fixtures there. What's going to be interesting, how these are placed. You know, do we have Inter Milan away, for example, right before Man City at home? Those things complicate it further. But if we have it at a time that is kind of more nicely placed, then the way we rotate, we manage is going to be quite interesting. Arsenal will ultimately go really strong in this competition, but we've now got the depth to do what we need to do in the Carabao Cup. We know it's Port Vale away. We talked about that here on the channel. And, you know, I think we navigated it really well last year, going quite full strength. And at one point we hit kind of our best run of the season when we scored 5 at West Ham. We beat Sporting 5-1. So yeah, we did some good work in the Champions League. I think the players are quite comfortable with it, and I think it suits us quite well. Let's just hope we can do the same this season. Not much more to say on the draw itself. Like I said, I'll pin a comment with the full teams and the full list if you want to have a look at it. The only reason I haven't remembered the other teams, I'll be honest, I haven't really got much comment on it, other than, you know, it's like Havertz, one of the sides. I mentioned Olympiacos, there's Bruges in there. Can't remember that final team, but yeah, it's looking all right for Arsenal. I might have actually mentioned them all. Kairat, Galatasaray. Sorry, why do I keep saying Galatasaray? Kairat, Athletic Club, Olympiacos, Bruges, Atletico, Bayern, Inter Milan, and then there's one more in there that I might have said that I forgot. So there we go. I wanted to also very briefly touch on this Kai Havertz news. So Kai Havertz is going to have surgery. Now, what I'd heard, I can't remember if I'd read this online or someone had told me, because I'd spoken to some people about it. Not that I'm in the know. I'm not in the know. Let's not start that rumour. But maybe people had heard from people they'd heard. I don't know. Anyway, that Kai Havertz was being monitored on his injury and that they weren't going to make a decision until about 3 weeks to see if his knee problem was going to heal and develop, on its own, or whether it needed surgery. Now, we are about just over a week from the original news, so about a week and a half from the injury, and it's come out that he's going to have a surgery that's considered quite a minor surgery, not too invasive, and that he might miss basically around 2 months. That's not as bad as first feared. I think when everything came out and it was said that we were looking for a forward, I think we all thought, knee, looking for a forward? That sounds like 4 or 5 months maybe. So again, I'm not in any way, shape or form happy. But if we can get to October, November with Saka, Havertz, Ødegaard all fit, I mean, that's good considering what it looked like, just over a week ago. So you take the positives in that sense, but we wish him all the best. It's never nice knowing that they need surgery, but if they're going to need surgery, then you hope it's because it's going to do something quite quick to clean up the problem. And you can get these non-invasive surgeries. You can get things like keyhole surgery that, yes, it's an op, but it's, look, I'm no medical expert, let's make that very clear as well, but it can be a case of just doing a little bit here and there to get it sorted. I think that's something like what Timber had at the end of last season, something not too invasive, but they just had to do the work, and he's able to get out and be fit and ready for the start of the season. So let's hope with Kai Havertz it's a speedy return for him, because we're going to need him. Gyökeres is still adapting. Gyökeres is going to be asked to play a lot of football in these next 2 months. He's going to be asked to adapt very, very quickly. Now, a £65 million signing with the hype around him, you'd expect Gyökeres to be playing these minutes. Sorry about the shaky phone, by the way, forgive me, I'm in a car. But, you'd expect a quick start from Gyökeres. You expect him to adapt quickly and be thrown in at the deep end, but he doesn't decide his price tag. Yes, he's played championship football before, but he's got his own adapting to do. It takes time. He's only human. He doesn't seem fazed by any of that, I'll say that, but he's going to be asked to play a lot of football instantly. And again, it depends how these Champions League games are placed. I mean, who's to say we don't have PSG... Sorry, we don't have PSG, that was last year. Who's to say we don't have Bayern Munich at home, Inter Milan away, Atleti at home, all in the time that Havertz is out. And it'll be things like that will be quite important. I remember we had... Atalanta away, PSG at home. I think they were our first 2 last season. So the equivalent of those fixtures, this year would mean Havertz is missing those. And I think he scored in the PSG game. So look, he'll be important. Let's hope he's available for those bigger games. He's already missing some crucial ones with Anfield, not the Etihad, but City coming to the Emirates. Newcastle away, he'll miss all those. So yeah, anyway. Those are the updates. That's the Champions League draw, my reaction to it, and Kai Havertz's surgery too. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And yeah, I guess, yeah, I'm really interested to sort of hear what you'll think of that draw. It's quite a nice one, right? I think it is. Let me know in the comment section below. Catch you in a bit.